because suicide is the leading cause of death in men in the UK under the age of 50. So look at the consequence. Let's all be really, really clear of the consequences of us not talking about our problems and men keeping those things bottled up. I think when we break that down in terms of actually dealing with an individual, I think personally, how I do it is sharing my personal experience. And I think when you're vulnerable, and that's what I kind of try and do with some of my social media, is express my vulnerability, because when we're vulnerable, we're inviting other people to become vulnerable, right? So I can say, I see you, I hear you, I've been there, I've experienced this, I've lost my brother to suicide. Let's talk about this, and that kind of vulnerability in myself is inviting somebody else to break down. But I'd also ask that person that one of the questions I love asking is, if you weren't to solve this problem, if this was to continue, where do you fear ending up in 6 months, in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? Where do you think you'll be? And ask yourself that really, really honestly, and get a really clear view of what your choices today about staying silent might mean for you in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Is that a trajectory you want to be on?
That would hit hard, because I think a lot of us are dealing day to day. Nobody thinks what's coming. You don't think what the
No.
accumulation of it is. So what behavioural outputs do you see? Do you see people, is it drink, drugs? Do you see casual sex? Do you see violent outbursts? What are the kind of, like when you were a doctor and that, what do you see people coming to you? Obviously sort of not mentioning names and things, but do you see like a similarity? Is it drinking themselves to oblivion? Is it drugs to lose the feeling or worry of what they're doing? Is it, I don't know, like going out and putting themselves into adventurous and dangerous situations to kind of feel alive again? Or because I know, like from my point of view, I've had depression when and OCD, had intrusive thoughts. I considered it years, like a few times over the years, and in my head, I remember seeing people and they're like, "Whoa," and then I could see people opening up. I can remember a student coming to me and he was saying I got put on depression. He was looking at the floor, and I said, "Oh, I've been on them. Have you had the leg shakes yet? Have you done?" And suddenly, in 10 minutes, he's talking to me about how he's feeling better and how happy he is now that he did it. And I think that was just a thing of saying, I'm not judging you. Like you're saying, it's open up
Yes.
and let them see that there is that kind of problem inside. I had Dr. Rob Kelly. I don't know if you've met him. He's an addiction specialist. And
Yes.
that's what he was saying is, don't tell me the thing that you're willing to admit. Tell me the thing that you're taking to your grave, that you're deeply ashamed of, that gives you this problem, that causes you to do this. And let's work on that and actually give you a life again. And I was like, whoa,
Wow.
that kind of hit home. And then when I found your kind of material, I was like, she gets it. She gets it. But,
But it's
but
funny
what kind of
because on the no judgment stuff, because that's one of the first things I started with a new client today, and it was the first thing I've started to bring that into my first session. Really say this is a no judgment zone, and I actually tell my clients some of my lowest lows and the things that I was doing in those lowest lows, and say, look, this is where I was. So this is a space where we can really be authentic and be really really vulnerable, and I think that that's really important.
Because I think that's the beauty into it is like you remove that barrier of high and mighty and the client who comes and begs for help by saying like, I've been there. Let's actually cut all that crap, the stigma,
Yeah.
the balance of power and all that, and just go, okay, this is how we're going to do it.